Going to be my list of the top 10 superpowers I would want to have, as well as like 5 that I don't understand why anyone would want them. And they might appear on other people's list of this version, so apologies in advance if I offend you. So that said, at number 10, we have the ability to time travel, like Hero from the hit show Heroes. I like it. It's obviously incredibly powerful. The possibilities are almost limitless. The reason I have it at only number 10, though, is it seems like the most inherently dangerous. It's like people who wish for a lightsaber and don't really think about how likely it is that they would kill themselves. With time travel, obviously, there's so much risk that you could mess things up in the present by doing stuff in the past. I would probably just do it in the future. I mean, even then, you can kind of mess up the future, but I would like to see where things go. But again, I don't rate it too highly because I don't think that there's much of a chance that the future's gonna be amazing. I hope that it is. How great would it be to be able to come back and, hey, everything's doing well. So that's my number 10, time travel. Number 9 is a bit of a weird one. It's probably the weirdest one on my list, and it is what I'm calling elemental form. So basically, think, Johnny Blaze, the ability to turn into fire. But what if you could turn into fire, or water, or air, or earth, I suppose? I feel like that would be pretty useful in the comic book context. Not super useful in the real world. Maybe if you could turn into wind, maybe that lets you fly. That seems pretty cool. Be able to turn into rock, maybe makes you invulnerable to damage. I don't know. It just seems like it'd be cool, and I like having the options. Number 8 is going to be telekinesis because, for a couple reasons. One, it's just very stereotypically like a cool thing to be able to do, like practically. Like if you're washing dishes, you could also be like stirring the macaroni you're cooking. Like it's kind of like something you'd expect out of like Harry Potter, as well as being one of the things, of course, that Jedi can do. So I feel like I'd be able to live out a lot of my fantasies of having magic, specifically with telekinesis, and also pretty useful. And I feel like, lifting heavy stuff, I feel like I could probably find some work that would be involved in. That'd be useful, but you could also hide it if you want to. Number 7 is going to be, hey Craig, how's it going? Doing a top 10 list. Hey Craig, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
The ability to learn anything instantly.
My number 7 is super learning. That's what I was about to do. Effectively, think about like Neo being like hooked into the Matrix, the ability to like quickly learn something. Maybe a little bit of Taskmaster, the ability to learn something just by seeing it. How useful would that be? I would also want to combine that with like super ability to apply the learning, like kind of basically the superpower of people like Tony Stark and stuff like that. But the ability to like immediately learn languages, skills, that's one of the most practical things. It's the least like fantastical, I suppose, but I would love to be able to like learn Kung Fu or something, like instantly. Number 6 is gonna be one of my travel ones. I don't like traveling via car, via plane, so this shows up a couple times on my thing. Teleportation. It would be awesome. I would want it to function pretty much exactly like Nightcrawler, sound effects and smell of brimstone and all that. The reason I don't rate it so high is how often in reality would I use it? I mean, I guess I could get from like home to work, but like, can I bring other people? I guess it's a superpower I'm choosing for myself. I just don't know practically how useful it is. Like, because once you get there, like you just used your power, like, but now you're there. Now what can you do? I guess you can leave. I don't know. Number 5 is gonna be one of the classics, super strength. Maybe super durability would be tied in with that, but I'd be perfectly fine with just super strength. It just seems generally useful. Like I would prefer to not have to work out and still be strong. I feel like this is one of the most easy to transfer into like a normal life without people being like, oh, he's a freak or whatever. Like you just be really strong. You could do stuff like feats of strength, be an athlete. That seems pretty useful. I want to be healthy. Number 4 is going to be my second travel one. So that is, and I prefer this over teleportation, honestly, just because I think it's more fun. And that would be flight, which I understand that a lot of people would put at number 1. There is something very freeing about the ability to fly. I would probably prefer actually flying over flying on a plane. Maybe it'd be really cold and stuff, I don't know. Maybe that'd have to be a part of the power. But just practically, like the ability to like float up to the ceiling. I would definitely want it to be like rogue style flying. Like basically like I can just move my body any way I want in the air, but I think that would be super useful. Very impressive. It's one of the things that you can't really hide, so there's the possibility that I would get locked in a government lab or something. So that's the downside, but anyway, flight does get in there at number 4. Number 3 is, look, the time travel is cool, but there's so much risk of potentially messing everything up for everybody. So I would, at number 3, just like to be able to time pause, you know, like Zach does in Saved by the Bell. Just stop time for a bit. I understand there's massive problems with that. It doesn't actually work, but this is a superpower thing. How useful would that be? This is what I think is like the ultimate introvert power. Imagine being able to just pause and just, I can just take a little bit of time. Just want to read a little bit. I don't want to talk. I don't want to go do anything. I just want to pause. Oh man, oh God, I would spend so much time in the pause. Ooh, maybe that's an idea for a short story. I would spend so much time just reading, playing video games. I understand there's massive problems. It wouldn't actually work that way, but oh God, that'd be the most practically useful one. Like, of all the powers, the effect they could have on my stress level, that would be like the number 1, time pausing. But it's not my number 2, nor my number 1. Now, my number 2 is what I said in the 20th anniversary thing I would choose as my superpower because it's more fun. But I do have to favor practicality if we're going to be committing this thing to posterity as we are right now. So number 2 is going to be shape-shifting. And look, shape-shifting is a very broad power, so I'm willing to actually restrict it more. Being able to turn into different animals. Like, I don't have to be able to turn into a brick wall or a bomb or whatever. I don't need to be the T-1000, although that'd be pretty cool. Just being able to turn into different animals, God, that'd be awesome. Being able to be a dog for a bit, being able to turn into a shark or a bird. I mean, you get flight out of that, obviously. Turn into a bear, just go off and live in, nature. I do think about how much I would actually like that, though, being dirty and having to eat like raw, bloody food and everything, or like graze grass. I don't know, but I think that would be pretty cool. I feel like you'd be able to defend yourself. You'd be your own best friend. I feel like that could be a pretty useful skill. I guess maybe someone would just kill you when you're in animal form. We do kill a lot of animals. Maybe I should have rated this lower. But number 1 is going to be the most practical, I think, and that is, have you guessed it yet? Do you know what it is? Enhanced healing factor, a la, Wolverine. The ability to like almost instantly heal from any wound, cure any disease, that sort of thing. I feel like that'd be incredibly useful and practical. Like you could transition it into stuff. You could be like, I don't know, a UFC fighter or fireman. Like there's lots of practical stuff you could do, but just to know that you'll be safe, that would be a load off. Like no ability to like turn into a puffin is going to be able to beat that, I don't think, at the end of the day. It seems pretty useful. I know it's not the most exciting or whatever, but oh God, that'd be great. And look, you might say, well, does that mean that you're like functionally immortal? Like, isn't that an issue? That's fine. I'm fine with that. And a much longer lifespan. I understand that there's like a lot of concerns about like the people around you dying and passing on, and do you eventually just go insane? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it in 1,000 years. But for now, healing factor would be it. That's my number 1. But to be fun, I do want to give you an idea of a few that I don't really understand. So a lot of people will put on lists like this, X-ray vision. Who fucking cares? First of all, X-rays are real. Like, just use an X-ray machine. Like, the ability to, like, most people instantly go pervy with it, and they're like, well, I could, like, see through someone's clothes. Yeah, but, like, do you see their bones? I don't know. And, like, let's say that it's not bones. Let's say you see through and you see skin. Yeah, but it's still going to be, like, affected by the clothing. It's going to be weird. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. Like, and there's porn already. You're going to use your superpower when you can just watch porn? I don't understand people. Laser vision. Anything where it's like creating a blast. Yeah, it's cool in the comics, but what are you actually going to use that for? You're going to become a soldier? They have rocket launchers. They have guns. You don't need your blasts. Wolverine claws, very cool. Kids love the Wolverine claws. You could have a sword, Plus they cut through his skin. How useful actually is that compared to the healing factor? The claws, like they get the cover of the magazine, but like the story is about the healing factor. Invisibility, again, 9 out of 10 times people would choose it for a pervy reason. 8 out of 10 would admit that it's for a pervy reason. The other people wouldn't admit it, but that's what it's for. What do you want to be invisible for? Like, people say, well, I could become a spy. Why the fuck would you want to be a spy? Think about what spies do. You want to be a spy? No. Invisibility, like, time stop. Just time stop then. You could still move around at everything. You're just going to be a weird creeper watching everyone? I don't get it. And super speed. It seems cool, but in comparison to super strength, I don't know, you're probably going to run into something. It's just annoying. Let's admit it. Every character with super speed is annoying, like by design, intentionally in most cases. So no, those are 5 powers that I would not want to have. But anyway, I am sure your list is different than mine, so feel free to post it down below. If there are any powers I missed, I would be surprised, but I don't rule out the possibility. And next week, we will be back to having Francesca joining me for these. If you have a topic suggestion, feel free to post it down below. And thank you for supporting the channel. See you next time.